Hi there, and welcome to SketchPADio, Intro to Working with a Layer. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to work with a layer and making a digital scratchboard. Not required, but I strongly recommend using a mouse for digital art making, as it will certainly make moving around your screen much easier. As always, you first need to set up your canvas. For this project, you will need a 10-inch height by 8-inch wide canvas. Let's go to the New Page button, which is your plus sign. And on Preset Size, let's choose Custom. And maybe, oh look, here's an 8 by 10, but we're going to actually switch that around, because we want 10 inches of width and 8 inches of height so it nicely fits on our screen. Blank canvas and click Create. Always remember, it's a good idea to adjust your canvas to see all 4 corners of your page as you make your art, so you know where you're placing your art elements and drawing your lines. If you're using a mouse, you can easily do that with a wheelie on the mouse, or if you're using a trackpad, simply use the little side scrolly bar. To move the page on your screen, click and drag the paper in the middle. Now we're ready to make some art. The first goal here is to fill the entire canvas with different colors. There are, of course, different ways of doing this. Here is one way that you can accomplish this. Let's go over to our toolbar and click on that to open that. We're going to select the paint bucket and select the color. I fill my whole canvas with one solid color. And then now I'm going to select a drawing or painting tool. My fill is set to 0% and my outline to 100%. I also want to make sure that Paint into Layer is on, which is yellow. So now I'm going to choose a color for my outline and do some scribbling and scrabbling, because again, the goal here is to cover the whole canvas with many colors. And if you use a thinner pen, the end result of this project will be much nicer. So I'm going to go ahead with this. Your canvas should end up looking something like this, filled with many colors and thin lines, not leaving anything blank. The second part of this project is to fill the entire screen with a solid black layer. To do this, let's go to our paint bucket. We'd like to choose Pixel Fill, and for this we need Paint into Layer off. This means I will be making an entire layer separate from what I already have on my canvas. This layer will be almost like it's floating. It won't be quite attached to my artwork yet. In the fill button, I'm going to select solid color of black and my tolerance to 100%. I now click once and I have filled up my entire screen with black. To check that layer, I'm simply going to check my layer button. Now I have my background layer, which is my colors, and my pixel fill, which is my black layer, which is basically now going to act as my scratch pad layer. If you want to check that the layer is still there underneath, you can simply click on the eyeball to hide that layer or to show it. Make sure when you leave, you're on the last layer. Now, to do the scratchboard effect, we're going to go over to our tools and select the eraser. The eraser with a blur of 0%. And a good size for this that I have found is about 5 pixels. You can select that by highlighting the pixels, enter 5. And the key part to this here is also, now we want to turn on paint into layers, because basically we want to erase part of the black layer so the color behind it now will come through like this. If you want to undo a stroke, you can simply click the back button. So now you're free to draw or subtract from your black layer your assigned drawing. One tip that I'd like to add here, that if you do need to make any corrections or you change your mind about some of your drawing, you can simply paint over it with black paint. Go back to your tool. I would select the paintbrush, outline of black, and now you could paint over parts of this drawing or your drawing. Remember, this is just a sample of what is it that you need to accomplish and do based on the decisions that you're making for your project. Here are some final samples of Sketchboard projects. Once your project is completed, go ahead and click on the Export button. Click on Save, JPEG, and Download. That project is now being downloaded directly to your Downloads folder. Locate that file in your Downloads folder, highlight it, and rename it using your last name, your first name, and the project name your teacher assigns to you, or you can simply use Sketchboard.